me that. So long ago, I can't even remember the date. But it's when pictures were first coming out in color. And this was the leader, and I won nicely, thank you, the awards that he told you about. And I think I better get out of your way, and we'll talk after the picture, and I'll answer as many questions or whatever you have that we have time for. Is that okay with you? Yeah. Oh, come on, is that okay with you? Yeah! There, now we're ready for the picture. Now, he was following the North Star because that was the only way they could find their way up for freedom. Because in the South, they would be recaptured, whipped, or whatever. And all they knew was to go north, and there were people up here. And thank God for Jamestown, because they brought the slaves up north. Jamestown was a place where hid lots of them. And then they had ships waiting at the lake, and they took them to Canada. The slaves were free in Canada. There was no slavery there. And Jamestown, I get a thrill being invited here because I'm living all over the terrible things that they went through. Now, I'll answer some more questions, but I want you to do me a favor. I came up here over 1,000 miles to put this on just here. And due to the guiles and the wiles and the kindness of Mr. Peterson here, and I'm hoping he'll invite me back next year. Would you like me to come back next year again? Well, I know we don't have much time, and have you all noticed Mrs. Beckwith is sitting here watching the picture for the 1,000th time, I imagine. And she has a thing. She comes with me, and when I talk too long, because sometimes I get so wrapped up in the cause, when I talk too long, I see her going just like this. That's a television command for you're done. Shut up. So I will shut up now. I know you got to make the bus, or I'll answer any questions. I will do anything I can to make the Jackson Memorial a place that all the United States uses. I'm a history buff, and throughout the years, the schools are teaching less and less history. And here is this fantastic part of America, and nobody made a picture. There was a woman portraying Harriet Tubman, who saved hundreds of slaves, and she was never seen. I don't mean she, somebody representing her was never seen in a picture. And when I went to ABC with it, they sort of laughed at first, but I got pretty fiery, and I used to be in charge of sales for ABC, so I had some fun because I find even today there are not too many children who see it. And I want you kids to do something for me. Wherever this picture is shown, I get letters. Thousands of them have come in over the years from teachers who feel this is a great way of presenting a historical epoch in history, and from guys just like you there. And so I want you, in the next week, if you will, to write me a letter in which you'll do one of two things. Either tell me what you got out of this picture, what feeling you had, whether you liked it or whether you didn't like it. That's all right. The picture has proved itself. Or else, I would like you to spend a week in looking for somebody to talk to whom you have never really talked before. Just go up to them and say, do you like Mrs. So-and-so, your teacher? Or do you like the Jammers? Are you going to win the ball game tonight? Whatever you want to do, just talk to them. Because the way to get over these problems, I don't care whether you talk to somebody who's white or black or green or yellow or purple, whatever color, any color you see in front of it. It could be a man, a woman, a boy, somebody in your class who was a bully or something like that. Talk to them, because the only way, if you remember in the picture, when he went over the hill with them, remember when they went swimming and so forth, and he said, I never talked to a boy like you. And remember, he wouldn't go with them at first. He didn't trust them, he didn't believe in them. And that's because you don't talk to each other. Communication is going to do more towards bringing an understanding of people who just don't take the time to talk. And I didn't mean to give you a big lecture today, but I get gripped by this picture and the kindness of these gentlemen who brought me here. Okay? Will you do that? Give it to your teacher, and you can have drawings in it, draw what you want. I won't be able to answer you probably because I'm just too busy. But you'll get a lot of fun doing it, and you'll remember today more, and that's what I want. I love you all, including the teachers.
Before we conclude, I think there were a couple of schools that want to make a little presentation. So for those that want to come forward now.
Mr. Beckwith, I am Rosa Padula,
Hold on.
and I am Jonah Patton. Dear Mr. Beckwith, I am Rosa Padula, and I am Jonah Patton for Fletcher School. We want to thank you for coming today. We brought along a t-shirt for you.
You brought along the teachers for me? Oh, that was nice of you. Thank you. Oh, is this for me? For what? Thank you very much. Looks like they have a lot of fun here.
My name is Angelo Simo, and I teach 4th grade at Southwestern Central School. We really enjoyed your movie. It was wonderful. We teach the same thing during our curriculum.
Oh,
And it was wonderful. We really, I'm sure,
you're way
enlightened
ahead
the
of
children.
us.
But on behalf of Southwestern Elementary School, I'd like to present you with a small gift.
A bottle of wine?
No, I wish it was. Thank you very much.
It's heavy.
I think it's too much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys have been terrific, very patient, and I appreciate it. Aaron Beckwith, once again, thank you for absolutely everything.
which owned Universal Studios. You may know that name because you see it still on in motion pictures when you go to the show. He worked for the American Broadcasting Company. You know that as ABC when you watch television during the day or in the evening. He also was director of sales for that company. He was vice president of a large company in New York that did advertising, and he worked with people and represented people such as, now your teachers may know these names, you will know some of them. Lucille Ball, I know you've all heard of her, and he's also worked with people like Red Skelton and Groucho Marx. You may not know those names quite as well as you know some of the others. He was head of pictures for RKO Pictures, and when they went out of business, he owned his own company called Beckwith Presentations. And from there, he was hired to produce a special picture, an ABC after-school special called Follow the North Star. Now, this is a very special program, and it's about, I'm going to let him tell you what it's about, but it goes back to before the American Civil War in the 1850s, and it's a story of what happened to some boys during that time. Because of this film, one of his greatest awards was Mr. Beckwith was awarded an Emmy Award for the show, and he was awarded a Christopher Award from the Catholic Church, which saw him as the Television Humanitarian of the Year. And at this point, I am pleased to introduce Mr. Aaron Beckwith.
I tell you guys, after hearing that introduction, I don't know whether I'm alive or dead. But that's how it goes. How many of you saw the picture last year when I was here? Did any of you? Will you raise your hands high? I just want. Okay, thank you. Do most of you know what Follow the North Star means? How many know what that means? Okay, this morning, coming here to speak, we passed the statue at Love School, is it? And it gives me a thrill, because anything that has to do with that era of terrible bloodshed and terrible giving and terrible love and heartaches gets me. And I hope you all, are you studying anything about the Follow the North Star in classes? There had never been a picture made on Follow the North Star. And while you heard that wonderful list of things I had done, the fact remains that this is my favorite picture. It is because it's dedicated to guys like yourself. And while I've shown it in colleges and high schools, the 4th, 5th, and 6th grades is my main target. And I want you to look at it closely. And remember, everything in this picture is honest, authentic. The clothes that they're wearing in the picture were all made at that time. The houses you see are exact houses of the Civil War period. And I'd like you all to think, how many of you would like to grow up and be a movie star? Raise your hand. Oh, that's good. I'll be back and sign you all up if you applaud loudly enough. But I tell you what I want you to do today. And do it for me, if you would, as I am doing for you. Because I'm going to ask you some questions at the end. And if I don't shut up, we won't have time for the questions. But I want the story, the picture is mainly about two young people, just a few years older than you. Now, pretend you're them and see if you would do the same things they're doing in the same way. And then we'll talk about it, because I want you to remember today. Thank you, and thank Mr. Peterson and Mr. Schmidt And I thank myself because I remembered your names. I'm not getting. So let's go on with the show. There was no slavery. They could do what they want. And so it's exciting to me every time I come here. And that's why I want today to be important. I always do this. Okay. I want you to do something for me. I want you this coming week or two, or make it this coming week. I know school is over, or about to be over, but I want you, each one of you, to talk to somebody you've never talked to before. To let them know you're there. You're a human being talking to another human being. I don't care if they're black, blue, green, yellow, or what. Pick your color. But talk to them, and you can say something like, do you like your teacher? Whatever it is, say it and get talking, and you will start making a friend. Now, I get thousands, or I've gotten thousands of letters, and Mrs. Beckwith and I sit there and we read them all. We can't answer any of them because we're too busy. But we think about it, and we think of you guys growing up and remembering the day you talked to someone. And if you do that, and you can't write me something about what you learned from this picture. If you didn't learn anything, and if you didn't like the picture, it's all right. I want an honest opinion, and you'll send them down to me, won't you? And I know I'm running late, and I promised to get you all out of here 5 minutes ago. So if you want to hear little things like how we made the picture and the heart and soul that went into it, ask your teacher to bring me back next year, and I'll come to your classroom and tell you that. Okay? Oh, I have some friends here.
This is from Ring School, 3rd grade.
This is from 3rd grade?
At Ring School.
At Ring School. Well, thank you very much. Is this one of those ducks that was at the end of the picture? This is a Roadrunner. Oh. And what, do you have something too, or are you going to say something nice?
This is also from the 4th grade from CC Ring School.
This is from the 4th grade of which school?
CC Ring.
CC Ring.
Right over there.
Thank you. I will put my entry pass. Okay. I finally found somebody I'm taller than in Jamestown. Every Jamestown has the tallest field. Thank you. We got them all?
Okay.
Oh,
This is from,
I'm going to come here more often.
this is from 4th grade at Bush School.
Bush School.
Oh, Bush School, that's your school, isn't
is.
it? Oh, you got a good principal there? Okay, he's a good principal, isn't he? There you go. Thank you very much. Oh, more.
This is
Oh,
from 4th grade in Love School.
4th grade in Love School? Okay. I stopped there today, and we got out of the car to see what the little boy was saying, and he was saying, "Follow the North Star." Okay. Thank you very much. Have we run out of things already? This is the nicest day I ever had. Thank you all very much. hold it one second. I especially wanted to thank all of you teachers and see to it that these letters are mailed to me. And I want to thank Mr. Peterson, who keeps after me to come here more often.
We have time for a few questions from the students. Can you take them?
Yeah. I can tell them some
We have time
stories.
for a couple questions from the students. If any students have a question, if you would raise your hand and we could call on you and...
You never tell how long it takes to make a picture because you have to wait for the writer to finish his work. And if it isn't good, you have to send him back to do it. But the part of the picture, when we had the writing pretty well done and so forth, took me about 4 weeks to do it, and then add to that couple weeks of casting the picture. You know, that means getting the little boys and getting all the actors. And then there's the ending where we call the editing and you go over. I have maybe 10 hours, 20 hours of film that I had to cut so it would fit in the time slot on the network. So it takes a while. How's that? Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. How
did you come up with the names for the characters in the movie?
Oh, it's simple. They had to be for the two boys, Benjamin and David. In those days, most of the names came from the Bible, like my name is Aaron, and that would have fit into the picture. But other than that, you said everybody has a suggestion. Somebody has a sister, somebody has a girl he's in love with. Why don't you use this name? You know how it is, fellas. And that's how you come up. You sit down and just like, what is your name? What is your first name? Andrew. And who came up with it? Your father and mother, right? Do you want to hear a few little stories? Remember the bounty hunter? The big man, he was 6'6", and he weighed 280, something like that. And he had never been in a movie. And he was an all-American football player from Southern California. And he came to me while we were casting, and he said he'd like to be in the picture. And it's funny, I couldn't find a tall man, and here comes this brute, but he had never acted before, number one. And number two, he had never ridden a horse in his life. Would you believe that? How he lived through this, I don't know. Because he rode that horse up and down the big hill, and he rode it in the bush. Nothing, the man was fearless. So I hope when you all grow up, you'll ride a horse in a movie yourselves, and you'll be as big as he is.
What was the inspiration for the movie? Why did you do it?
Because, oh, don't start me. Don't start me. It's such a great cause that people get along. Okay, I'm all right. These things come in spells. I look at my wife and I stop crying, see? And in a minute, she's going to go just like this, like I told you. But I'm thankful she's here. It's a great thing to do, to meet people and get along with them. Instead of, I'll bet in your school you have a few bullies who everybody's afraid of, and everybody's afraid to talk to them. And they may surprise you if you took the time to talk to them, what great friends they turn out to be. That's what made me do the picture, because you kids are the future of our country. And you better start being nice to people now. More time, or?
I think we're done.
It's time to eat. I want to thank you for those presents. They all go in my closet, and I look at them every once in a while. And I hope I'll see you all here if Mr. Peterson is kind enough to invite me again next year.
Thank you, everybody, for being a good audience.